Hi, my name is Dana Williamson, conservator here at the Petersen Automotive Museum, and welcome to today's episode of Driving with Dana. Today I'm driving a 1965 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud, and my passenger today is Tony. And Tony, why don't you tell the people why you're my passenger, how you got here?
Yeah, so over the summer I rented a few cars from a car rental service called Turo. They rent out some pretty amazing cars.
Yeah, Turo. Now I've heard Turo is like the Airbnb of automobiles.
Yes, that's correct.
Ah, very nice. What did you rent, by the way?
So the first car I rented was should be a 2018 model Jeep Cherokee. That was to go to a trip to Tahoe during the summer. That was a blast to drive. And the second car I rented was to go to my friend's wedding in Sonoma, and I rented a Mercedes GLK. Another amazing car. So.
Oh, that's great. So now getting back to how you got here. So you rented some cars from Turo.
Yes, so I rented some cars from Turo, and then I was enrolled in a contest in which they were offering rides here at the Petersen in historic cars. And I happened to select the Rolls-Royce because when I was young in Hong Kong, I stayed at the Peninsula Hotel, which is a historical hotel in Hong Kong in a very expensive area, shopping district called Tsim Sha Tsui. And there in the hotel, they have a fleet of green Rolls-Royce. I don't know, that was back in the 90s, but I believe it's been like that ever since probably the 60s, and it's still like that now, but just with newer models. But it's a fleet of green Rolls-Royces.
Really?
And yeah, it made a deep impression on me when I was young. So
when you saw it, you said, "Wow, the Rolls-Royce."
Yeah, exactly. So Rolls-Royces have always, it's always lingered with me. I always wanted to drive one and experience it for myself. So.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about this Rolls-Royce that you're driving in. Like I said, it's a 1965 Silver Cloud Series 3 Rolls-Royce. It was bought originally new by the movie director John Frankenheimer. There's a funny story that goes to that. John Frankenheimer, of course, he made probably 51 movies. I think he a 4-time Oscar winner. But he was in France filming in 1964 the movie called The Train.
The Train. And
it was a rainy weekend, so he and his wife decided to go to London to go to a tailor and get a couple of suits. Came out of the tailor's and it's raining, and not that they didn't want to walk in the rain, but they decided to go across the street to a Rolls-Royce dealership. They went in, there were 2 cars on the floor, a Bentley and a Rolls-Royce. John sat in the Bentley and it was not big enough for him, he felt cramped. Then he sat in the Rolls-Royce and he thought it was beautiful. Said to his wife, Evans, "What do you think, should we buy it?" And she said, "Yes, let's get one." So of course, out of his briefcase, he pulled the full purchase price out of his briefcase in cash, but they were French francs.
Yes.
And the dealer said, "Oh, we only take pounds. We can't do the conversion." Banks were closed on the weekend, so they stuffed all this cash into 2 glove boxes of these 2 cars, the Bentley and the Rolls-Royce, until the following Monday, when the banks were open, the francs could be taken out and then turned into pounds. So from that day, after they eventually took delivery of the car, because at that time you didn't buy it off the floor, you had to order the car. They took delivery and they had it for 50 years. So they had this car for 50 years. Mrs. Frankenheimer Evans named this car Victoria, after Queen Victoria, because she thought it was so stately and so classy and so regal. And I think that's why they kept such good care of it and had it for 50 years. As you can see, I mean, it's a beautiful, even today, as a 1965, it's a beautiful running car. So, what do you drive, Tony?
I drive a 1992 Acura Integra that's crimson red.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I love Acuras. A lot of miles on it? Or?
A lot of miles, yeah. About 280.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No problems? Just
no problems.
That's
actually.
great.
It's kept it in really good condition. It's my mother's car and kind of got passed down to me, and I want to keep it. I want it to be looking like this one day.
Sure.
Maybe in a museum itself.
So tell me, how did you get your passion for automobiles?
When I was born, my dad he wanted us to have have a nice luxury car
Sure.
for the family. So we got a BMW, a 5 Series. That was in 1986. We still have that car, but I just remember going to a BMW dealership, and I just remember looking at all the brochures and all the nice cars. And yeah, I had thought about becoming a car designer when I was young. So
Really?
yes, yeah.
Did you ever?
I really enjoyed just drawing cars on crayons.
You would
and things
sketch cars
yes,
and things
that's
like
right.
that?
Yeah,
Great.
just copy out of the catalog.
And so, what are you doing now?
I work for a company called Sweet Green. So it's like the Starbucks of salads. It's a national salad chain that's from the East Coast, from DC. Then moved up to New York, and now it's branching out here in LA and the Bay Area. So
You enjoy it?
I do, yeah. It's,
You think you'll ever get back into car design, or are you gonna, or your passion will be your personal cars that you probably own?
I like designing things. That's definitely something that I want to, take advantage of more and grow that area of my pursuits. So yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be cars, but I did actually apply to Tesla and got a job there, but I decided it wasn't for me because I had to move up to Tahoe basically. So yeah, but maybe one day I'll move back into the car world somehow. So
if you had been working for Tesla, maybe you'd be working on that new supercar that they're coming out with.
Yeah,
you heard about that?
yes, I did. Yeah.
What is it, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, apparently.
Ludicrous.
No,
Ludicrous.
Yeah, it's, I live in San Francisco, so I mean, just out of the blue, actually, like where I in the area where I work in the financial district in downtown San Francisco, I just saw a Model 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Model 3 is on the street.
It is already. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's probably a Tesla employee, or it could be Elon Musk himself. Who knows?
True.
But I think nobody noticed it. That was the thing. Like I noticed it. So I was like, oh, this is a Model 3. But I don't think everybody, other than me, cared enough.
Well, I think from everything I'm reading and people I talk to and people in the industry, but that's where the future of the automobile is going. I mean, everyone's going electric, whether they're Porsche, Volvo.
That's right.
Of course, Toyota's already there, but I think that's where the future is.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see how, like again with the new Tesla Roadster, especially when it comes to like muscle cars like racing cars, how they can be powered through sustainable energy.
Sure.
I'm interested in how that develops.
Well, with supercars, and you saying how Turo actually has some really unique cars that you can rent. I heard that, say you owned maybe a Porsche, and you have a very high monthly payment, that you could let Turo rent it out for you a few times and then supplement.
That's right.
Payment,
yeah.
Which make it, affordable maybe.
Yeah, so actually the first time I rented a Turo, and I drove up into this very fancy housing apartment complex, and then the owner of the vehicle that I rented out told me that he was going to build a whole business out of renting cars on Turo.
Really?
So he already had a cheap Cherokee, which was what he rented out to me because that's what I wanted to go to Tahoe.
Right.
But he also bought a Jaguar F-Type exclusively to rent out on Turo.
Oh, wow.
And then he told me that he knew somebody that has 26 cars, all luxury cars that are on Turo. And he's going to develop that basically into I guess his own privately owned car rental business. So it can be a very lucrative thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole new business now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think if this car were on Turo, that it would get quite a few renters?
I think so. It's just it will be a question of how much it would be, but I think that there will be enough interest for sure. So.
Another interesting fact about this particular Silver Cloud 3, owned by Frankenheimer. Frankenheimer lived in Malibu, and he was very good friends with Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah. And
Bobby Kennedy was staying over at Frankenheimer's house at the time of the election. And he said to John a particular day, he said, I should go to the hotel, back to the hotel, and see what the results are and the vote count and things like that. But I don't know, I'm pretty tired. And John said, Bobby, don't worry about it. Get in my car. I'll drive you there. I'll wait for you. I'll bring you back here. Everything is going to be fine. And of course, that's when Bobby Kennedy was killed. So this is the last vehicle that Bobby Kennedy rode in. I know that in some ways that might be a little bit of a morbid thought, but actually it gives you an insight in probably the politics then, and how fleeting life can be. Who would have ever expected that, especially from a person like Bobby Kennedy, that somebody would want to take him out of the election. So there's a lot of history in this car. Not to mention, even if you take all that away, being a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3 with its workmanship, it's a V8 engine. I would say it's around 240 horsepower. It's a 4-speed automatic. Has factory air conditioning, power windows, power seats. Everything is power. It's just a really fantastic automobile. So now, when you said, so you're living in San Francisco, or you live here now?
No, I live in San Francisco.
Oh, so you came down for this?
Yes, I flew especially for this.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's great. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So, I won't know if I'll ever be in a Rolls-Royce again. Who knows? Maybe one day.
That's true.
But this is the day. So.
Yeah, it is the day. I mean, there's probably only one thing better than sitting in, in the passenger seat where you are, and of course that would be driving it. Unfortunately, can't go that far, but I'm glad you were able to join this ride with me today, because a beautiful day, and you actually couldn't take this ride in any more beautiful car.
Yes, it can be.
Now, are you familiar with the Petersen Museum at all?
I'm not really, because I'm not from LA.
Right.
But a friend of mine actually that works at Screen Green told me about it, and she told me that growing up here, a lot of children would have their school field trips at the Petersen Museum. So, and when I was on my way here, I saw a group of kids. So,
yeah, it's the Petersen has always tried to. Education has always been very big, and we have outreach programs. We bus kids in from inner city. We bus them from.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we bring kids in that would probably never be able to go to the Petersen Museum because it wouldn't be a priority in their family.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have kids. They come in. We try to educate them, not only in what automobiles are. Some people think of automobiles as just transportation.
Yeah, true.
But we try to show how cultural they are,
exactly,
and how
it's relevant.
Yes, exactly.
It's like this car itself. It's part of American history, especially with the story of Bobby Kennedy. So
of course,
it has a place in American history.
Yes, it does. And that's most every car in the museum. Bob Petersen, who founded the museum, that was a priority of his. He would say, I want cars that have history. I want cars that tell a story. So we like to say that at the museum, every car we has its own story. Not to say that every car out there doesn't have a story,
They sure have miles, though.
That's true. Very, very true. Well, Tony, this has been great. I've enjoyed our ride very much. We're heading back into the Petersen, and thank you everyone for watching, and tune in again next week when we will be taking a 1994 Bugatti EB110 out for a drive. So please drive with passion, but drive safely.